Anyway, that's it, guys. These will affect your team, your relationship, your business. If you want this Prezzo, I will give it to you. What's that?
A month from now?
It probably will be at this rate. I'll put you all on that other list from Orlando. But any questions and any feedback here? This is just kind of open. I mean, go ahead, my man.
So what would be a good question to ask a person when you initially meet them? To kind of, how would you try to decipher where they fall?
So again,
on it.
we're talking like, what, 15 seconds? Mm-hmm. So there are some indicators. And Pat talked about it in his other stuff here. What does the lawn look like? Can you see in the garage? Are the cars detailed? Right? How is the place kept? I mean, those are all, what's that?
No soliciting sign on their door.
No soliciting sign on the door, right? Rules, right? Again, I hate solicitors. I mean, it drives me crazy, particularly the tree guys. I don't know why tree guys drive me crazy, but like every time somebody loses a tree in a daggone yard, it's like there's 22 people like, hey man, you got a dead, I know, bro. I know, I got a chainsaw. That's why I got a chainsaw. I love chainsaws. Let me cut my own tree down, right? But all right, to answer your question, it is just feel, and it takes time. I think for me, I just always have the introduction. I'm trying to make a read as I'm walking up. I'm trying to figure out, when did they send you the email? Did they send it to you like at 5:30 in the morning? Late at night? You know, just some you know, if I get a lead at like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, I'm going to say, you know what? I is not going to be worrying about that because that dude's partying. The D, possibly, but he's like, no, I'm in bed early because I'm up early. The C is like, right? But if it's early in the morning, then I'm like, okay, this early person. Again, if you get like, I use Google Voice, how are they on the phone? Like, what is the transcript? But I go process elimination. Like I said, hey, you've been watching the NCAA? No, I haven't. Immediately, like, okay, what's the tone? They're not really tracking what's happened, you know, in hoops. You know, I would say always asking, hey, any questions or concerns. Go ahead.
I always ask what they do for a living. A C is going to say, why? Why does that matter? What I do for a living? But I mean, like, law enforcement, military, Ds, researchers, computer programmers, web developers, Cs and S's, salespeople, Is oftentimes. I mean, that kind of helps me find people on the plane what they do for a living.
And go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just.
Yeah, no, and I think
You're not going to find a lot of salespeople in the Cs.
No,
You're
won't.
not going to find a lot of microbiologists in the Is.
No, and I think again, you know, figuring that quick question, even that's pretty invasive question because as a D, I'd be like, none of your business what I do.
You're here to. Funny to ask them.
What's that?
Wouldn't it be funny to ask them, like, I always kind of like to know what type of person I'm dealing with. What kind of personality type?
No, and you.
Excuse me, do you know your disc profile?
Yeah, you'd be like, interesting. Yeah, yeah, you're a D, all right. You're a DI. I won't finish the spelling for you, big guy. But I think one of the questions is if you sense an accent or hear an accent. Like, hey, where are you from? Are you originally from here? No, I'm from New York. I'm from Connecticut. Oh, what brought you down here?
There you go.
What brought you here? Because then you're like, my job. Oh, yeah, okay. Now that's an easier way. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, cool. What do you do? And then from there, the D's are like, well, I'm the CEO and head da-da-da, because he's all about, right? The I's be like, oh, man, I work for this cool company. The S will be like, you know, human resources, account, you know, not quite accounting, but you're going to sense that. Then the C's are like, well, you know, I'm a marine biologist and, you know, blah, 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 blah. I just did a customer's house, and I knew this guy was particular. I didn't know what he did. This was a referral from one of my realtor friends who's been referring me work. It was her cousin. So So it was a warm referral. But I could tell that this guy was a C personality because he was talking about, he's like, can you clean this concrete walkway? There was a hairline crack across it. I'm talking about 8 feet by 4 feet wide. He goes, will it clean up? Because I'm thinking about ripping up that concrete to, because it's got a little crack in it and stuff. I'm like, dude, this dude's a C. Like, this is like, well, come to find out, he had come back from work and he shows up in his scrubs. He's a physician. And I knew he was bright. I could just tell by our conversations. I just didn't know exactly what he did. But I was like, okay, it makes sense to me now because I found out the day I started the job with the wife. I'm like, hey, she's like, I'm heading out to work. I'm like, oh yeah, where you going? She goes, oh, so-and-so bridal thing. I'm like, wait a second. This is a $900 job. That's with a bundle discount and friends and referral family thingy. The house is huge. It's mint, etc. I'm like, what does this guy do? Someone's doing something. And when I talked to him, he's like, oh yeah, I hand scrubbed the porch with the magic erasers. I'm like, you did? He goes, yeah, dude, it's taken me all day to scrub the vinyl on the inside of this porch. I'm like, no. So anyway, long story short, easing into, hey, how did you get here? What do you do with some? I mean, let's brainstorm here. Let's based on your experience. I mean, what questions would you ask? How would you? Okay, let's just role play here because we got nothing but time, and I'll let you guys stretch out. They're not going to be back for a while, so if you got to pee, go pee, whatever. But this is where I think we're going to get better. All right, JC, I'm gonna make this is an easy one. How are you gonna roll up? How are you gonna determine? I'm gonna play a style. You got to figure out my style. Okay. All right. Let me decide the style I'm gonna be here. All right, I gotta channel my styles here. All right, knock on the door.
Hey, good afternoon. How you doing today?
Doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. My name is JC with Cape Fear Pro Wash, and we got a request here to do an estimate for some house washing.
Okay, great. I'm trying to figure out what style. I'm gonna flex my style right here. I'm gonna give you my style right here. Well, man, I really appreciate you coming out. Did you find the place easily?
Yeah. The directions were great. Appreciate you giving Crystal where to turn and everything. Do you have a minute to walk around the house and go over a couple things?
Yeah, hang on. Let me just make sure my dog's okay. My dog's fine. All right.
We're still going, or am I guessing?
No. If you can guess.
I was gonna go with SC, somewhere around there.
All right, you're right. You're an S, right? How okay. All right. So how would let's role play it?
How's your dog? What's his name? How long you had him?
Oh, fantastic.
Like the artwork. Is that your mom? Is that your son? What do they do?
Excellent. You can get so much information so quickly. And when you get those answers, you're like, you got to be processing. You can't have this myopic, like, sell the deal, close the deal, make money. Yeah, we got to do that. But that's going to come when you build a relationship. And we get so worried about that personality that we're not connecting with. And we think we can't keep them and we don't want them. Like, if you prove yourself, particularly to the S and to the C, they're going to be your best advocates. Because typically, they will be the ones that go on and give you the reviews. Because they'll be people who keep their word to you. The D's will be like, oh, yeah. They get caught up, they're multitasking. They're on to the next thing, man. You roll out, they're only calling you and doing something for you if they need you. The I's do, hey, we got a party. But the S is because they care about people, and now you've kind of built that relationship. They'll do the review for you. The C will give you the credibility review, that will resonate with all the other C's who are like, oh man, I don't know who to get to clean my house. I hear about pressure washing, I hear about software, I hear about all these chemicals. Who do I get? I'm researching. There's all these things. They will help you do that. That's excellent. What else? Anything else? Any insights? How would you, anybody want to share like their toughest customer, their that you knew was like a C or an SC or a CS?
I had a C. I just did her house, and she had to be there for the estimate. She was a teacher. She wouldn't give me her email. She wouldn't give me her cell phone, so I could only call her house when she was never home. I had to leave a voicemail. I had to wait for her to get there to do the estimate. Then I told her the process. I'm like, oh, we got this, proprietary blend that we use for your roof. It's safe. It's effective. It's got a apple smell to it. Oh, apple. Oh no, you can't put that on my roof. I can't smell that. You just can't use that. And she called twice before we went and did the job. Make sure there's no scent. I just want the roof cleaned. I don't want anything mixed in the
Solution.
Yeah, the solution. She had to make sure she was there.
I want to smell bleach.
Her teacher work day, so we had to make sure she was there. She got the cashier's check.
Right, so you wouldn't have her checking
$489.
account numbers.
Right. And she was happy, but it was just
It's a process, right?